This is where I'm at currently in terms of the boots for the special project polystyrene drawing. I worked on them throughout the day for the most part, slowly but steadily. Around 5:45 a.m., I had the first cup of coffee for the day. Of which I have a cup with me. The one that Dad poured for me after he made some coffee shortly after getting back from visiting his parents' place after work. I believe it was around 7 p.m. And I worked on that polystyrene drawing roughly from 5 in the morning to about 5 p.m. Though it wasn't constant work or deep work, it was more like some work here and there throughout the whole period. Before I would go to do something else or think about how I should translate the reference images into the polystyrene drawing, essentially. Dad got this from his mother. She made it for him. And me too. It's meatloaf and rice. Homemade, and the meatloaf is pretty good. Around 5:45 in the morning was when I had the first cup of coffee. And for breakfast, one of those 6-pack snack packs of Oreos. That one of the people that Dad delivers mail to gave him indirectly through leaving a basket for the postal workers. It was a very nice thing to do. Around noon, I had what was left over of something else homemade by Grandma. It's supposed to be a stew with ground beef, rice, and vegetables, but I'm not sure if it can be called a stew if there's no, if it's not soup-like. It goes against what I think of when I think of stew, or how I've generally experienced stew. Then around 4:45 p.m., around the time I stopped working on the polystyrene drawing, I had the leftover chicken wings from Brody's and some jalapeno kettle chips, from a bag of them. That's kept in one of the cupboards of our kitchen. From my experience, doing the front of the boots required some precise work. And was somewhat difficult at times. But not horribly so. It just required a good amount of effort, but I figure doing the sides will be at least a little easier than doing the fronts. Then I'll just have to do the backs of the boots and the camo pattern for the knee pads. From what I've heard, today was a sunny day. Dad told me. And we're starting to get some snow, but not too much for now. I had 3 to 4 cups of coffee. Roughly from 5:45 in the morning to about 9 in the morning. Much of it from a new pot that Dad made before leaving for work. Since both he and I enjoy having coffee, though, I like mine plain. That way, it's calorie free. The reference images are those of the Timberland Earthkeepers boots. And at the time I had the leftover stew, I had the last of the milk we had at the time. Before Dad went grocery shopping, presumably at either Wegmans or Aldi's. I'm not sure which, but my guess is leaning toward Wegmans to get a new gallon of whole milk. This is where I am in terms of the task sets and the mini game for Winter Magic. Around 1 p.m. I also had some water because around that time I had a brief period where I coughed up some phlegm, but it's not as bad as it was a few days earlier, and even that, it wasn't that bad. That's the third time in a row I had to open nearly every single box in order to get the daily exclusive, but it's okay. Still got plenty of keys. I got some good buildings I could place down later. Although when I first got this cup, I accidentally spilled it at 2 times, only losing in total a small amount of the coffee. The first time was because the lighting was dim, and I thought that cup was empty when it was actually full. I used the cloth meant for washing my glasses to clean up the spill. And then Dad's reaction when I told him that made me laugh, blow out my nose, kind of, and accidentally spill the coffee a second time. I didn't know at the time that cloth was just meant for glasses, not for cleaning up a spill, but hopefully that cloth will be okay. I'm not 100% sure what made me laugh at that. Maybe Dad asking if I wanted my glasses to smell like coffee, though I believe that question came after I laughed. Dad helped with the first spill after my work with it, and then he cleaned up the second spill. Since at the time it happened, he was already in the kitchen.